Hi, in this class we are learning about work, power and energy. First we'll learn what you mean by work. What you if see the picture, in the picture we are applying some force on the object. By applying the force, the object moves from one position to another position, means it displaces its position. That means when a force acting on a body produces a change in the position of the body, then we said that work is done by the force. What you mean by work means the displacement of an object with respect to time is known as a work. See, work done by an object is defined as a magnitude of force applied by the distance moved by the object in a direction of applied force. That means we are applying some force on the object. After applying force on that object, the object it changes its position. That is called as a work done. Work done on an object is defined as a magnitude of the force multiplied by the distance moved by the object in the direction of applied force. The unit of work is joule. 1 joule is equals to 1 Newton. That, see the definition, it is the product of force under distance. Unit of force is Newton, unit of distance is meter. So 1 joule is equals to 1 Newton into 1 meter. So unit of work is, the work is joule. Joule is 1 joule is equals to 1 Newton into 1 meter. Work done on object by a force would be 0 if the displacement of an object is 0. If after applying also the object will not change its position, means the work done is 0. So work done is depends upon the displacement of an object. See, work done on an object by the force would be 0 if the displacement of an object is 0. If the object does not change its position, means we say that the work is not done. Power is defined as a rate of doing work. Rate of doing work, that means work done by time taken is known as a power. SI unit of power is watt. 1 watt equals to 1 joule per 1 second. Work done to unit on the joule, and time the unit second. So 1 watt is equals to 1 joule divided by 1 second. The unit of power is also a horsepower. Instead of watt, there is also another unit that is known as a horsepower. It is the power agent can work at rate of 550 foot-pounds per second or 33,000 foot-pounds per minute. Next, an object having capability to do work is said to possess some energy. That means we are applying a force on object. The object moves from one position to another position, then we said that work is done. The amount of work done in the given time is known as a power. If the power is generated and the work is done, then we said that energy is released. So energy is same unit of work. If an motion possesses that means if an energy created by moving the particle or object is known as a kinetic energy. So an object of mass m moving with a velocity v has a kinetic energy is equals to half mv square. Kinetic energy is given by half mv square. A energy possessed by a body due to change its position or shape is called as a potential energy. The energy possessed by a body due to its change in position or shape is known as a potential energy. The gravitational potential energy of an object of mass m raised to a distance height h from the earth's surface is given by mgh, where g is the gravitational force, m is the mass of the object, h is the height of the, how height is moved. According to law of conservation of mass, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. Energy can be transformed from one form to another form. The total energy before and after transformation will always remains constant. Conservation of energy tells that the energy cannot be created or cannot be destroyed. We can simply transform from one type of energy to the another type of energy, but the total energy before and after transformation will always remains constant. This is the conservation of energy statement. Energy exists in nature in several forms such as kinetic energy, potential energy, heat energy, chemical energy, etc. The sum of the kinetic energy and potential energy of an object is called as a mechanical energy. What you mean by mechanical energy andre, the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy is known as the mechanical energy. Pressure is defined as the force acting per unit area. Pressure is equals to force divided by area. The SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square. Unit of force is Newton, area is meter square. So SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square or Pascal. The same force acting on a smaller area exerts larger pressure. See the picture. In the first picture, there is a sharp tip. That means the area is less, but the pressure is more. That's why we will use sharp tipped knife, nail, etc. Next, and smaller pressure on the larger area. In the second picture, see, in the second picture there is a larger area, so the pressure is also less. Area and pressure are inversely proportional. See the definition: pressure equals to force divided by area. That is, pressure is inversely proportional to the area. If the area is more, pressure will be less. If the area is less, pressure will be more. This is the reason why the nail has a pointed tip, knife has a sharp edges, or buildings have a wide foundation. All liquids and gases are fluids. All liquids and gases are fluids. A solid exerts pressure on the surface due to its weight. In solids, we will measure the pressure on the weight, but whereas in liquids or gases, we cannot measure the pressure directly. So if we take in a container, the movement of particle within the container, that means the particle hits the wall of the container and it gets rebound. So while rebound, they will get kinetic energy. In that kinetic energy will be the pressure of the liquid or solid. See, similarly, the fluid have a weight and they also exert pressure on the base and the walls of the container in which they are closed. Pressure exerted by any confined mass of fluid is transferred and diminished in all direction. That means it will be acting in all direction. All objects experiences a force or buoyancy when they are immersed in the fluid. See, that force will act in on every particle. If the object having less density than that of the liquid, if the object's density is less than the liquid, they will float. If the density of the object is more than the liquid, they will sink in the liquid. See, the all objects experiences a force of buoyancy when they are immersed in the fluid. Objects having density less than that of the liquid in which they are immersed float on the surface of the liquid. If the density of an object is more than the density of liquid in which it immersed, then it sinks in the liquid. Next, Archimedeans Principle. When a body is immersed fully or partially in a fluid, it experiences an upward force that is equals to the weight of the fluid displaces in it. See the picture. We are taking, see the second picture. we are putting some object in the water, that it is not completely in the water, it is partially in the water, so it displaces some amount of in the water. That water is equals to the weight of the object. So this is called as a Archimedes principle. That is, when a body is immersed fully or partially in a fluid, it experiences an upward force that is equals to the weight of the fluid displaces by it. That means in the third picture, see in the third picture, the object is fully immersed in the water, so the amount of water is collected is equals to the weight of the object. Archimedes principle has many applications which is used in designing shapes and submarines. Lactometers, that is, which are used to determine the purity of sample milk, and hydrometers, that is used to determine the density of liquids based on this principle. Based on the Archimedes principle, lactometers and hydrometers are constructed and the ships and submarines are designed. Last point is the density and relative density. The mass per unit volume of a substance is called as a density. The mass per unit volume of a substance is called as a density. The SI unit of density is kilogram per meter cuboid, that is kg meter cube. Density is equals to mass by volume. See the definition. The mass per unit volume of a substance is called as a density. So density is equals to mass by volume. The relative density of a substance is the ratio of density of its density to the density of water. Relative density means density of the object to the density of the, it is the ratio of density of the object to the density of the water. Relative density is the density of a substance divided by density of water. See that this is the ratio density of a substance divided by density of a water. Since a relative density is ratio of similar. So what you mean by work done means, if a object displaces its position, then we said it is a work is done. Unit of work is joule. Next, the rate of doing work is called as a power. Unit of power is watt. Next, energy means if the ability to work is set is a energy. So energy is has a similar unit as work, that is joule. Unit of work is joule, so unit of energy is also joule. There are two types of energy, I mean kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy means the energy possessed by movement of the particles is known as the kinetic energy, and the energy possessed by the change in the position or shape is known as the potential energy. The sum of the potential energy and kinetic energy is called as a mechanical energy. What is mean by law of conservation of energy means energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can simply transform from one position to another position, I mean one form to another form. And the total energy will remain constant before and after transformation. Pressure means pressure is the force acting per unit area. The pressure is equals to force by area. Pressure is inversely proportional to the area. If the area is larger, pressure will be less. If the area is less, pressure will be high. The SI unit of pressure is Newton per meter square or Pascal. Next one is the next if an object if the density of the object is less than the water, then the object floats. If the density of an object is greater than the density of the water, then it sinks. Next, Archimedean principle. When a body immersed fully or partially in a fluid, it experiences an upward force that is equals to the weight of the fluid displaced by it. This is known as the Archimedes principle. There are many uses of Archimedes principle. Based on the Archimedes principle, actometers, hydrometers are constructed, and the designs of the ships also and submarines also are also based on the Archimedean principle. Density means it is the ratio of mass per volume. Relative density means the density of an object. It is the ratio of density of an object to the density of the water. Thank you.